Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to American Legacy Network. My name is Joshua Reynolds, and I'm here with a special guest, Miss Vickilyn Reynolds. And this is What I Need You to Know, an evening with Vickilyn Reynolds. And so I'm going to introduce Miss Reynolds, and then we're going to have a very special evening tonight. So Vickilyn Reynolds has starred and co-starred in many feature films, television, and commercials. Theater became a passion for Vickilyn after being featured off-Broadway in George C. Wolfe's Colored Museum, in which she portrayed 5 characters. Miss Reynolds was featured as the singer in Bringin' the Noise, Bringin' the Funk, and has traveled the world as a solo vocalist for dignitaries and royalty upon their visit or upon their request. She has also studied with Marlon Brando for an intensive documentary, Lying for a Living. Miss Reynolds has garnered nominations from the NAACP Drama Desk Awards, a recipient of the Chicago's 1998 Best Performance, Black Theater Alliances Award, 1998 Best Performance Theater, LA Ovation, and 2005 Telly Award for Acting and Associate Producer, and the 2007 Denver's Ovation Award nomination. In 2008, won the Aldelco Award for Outstanding Performance in a Musical Female for Hattie, What I Need You to Know. And of course, we're speaking about Hattie, What I Need You to Know. And so there are several experiences and parallels that you have with Miss Hattie, Hattie's life. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, Hattie McDaniel had a brother who died at the age of 35. He brought her into show business. And I had a brother who passed away. He was 43, and he brought me into show business. Hattie McDaniel had a false pregnancy, and I had a stillbirth. What else? We look similar. There are 2 other parallels that I can't think of right now, but we had quite a few.
And so I know that some of those parallels actually informed and inspired some of the pieces that you wrote for your show.
Yes. In fact, one that comes to mind is, like I said, she had the false pregnancy, and I had a stillbirth, and I wrote a song called Childless Mother.
Mm-hmm.
I also wrote a song called I'm All Alone.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks of about, the song is used for her husband who died for his funeral.
Mm.
But I was able to write it because of the experience that I had in losing my brother.
Mm. So we're actually going to go right into a performance for you. So which one of the songs is it that you're gonna perform for us right now?
Well, Childless Mother.
All right.
Go ahead. I dreamed all my life of being a mother, of having a boy and a girl. I never dreamed that it would be a problem, 'cause I'm a woman, I'm made to give birth. The girl to look like me, the boy looks like daddy. My God, it is only a dream. I'm a childless mother, a childless mother, a childless mother. That's me. feel emptiness, it consumes me. Sadness, please just leave me. I wanna touch, I wanna feel my baby. I dream all my life of being a mother, but that will remain just a dream. I'm a childless mother, a childless mother, a childless mother, a childless mother, a childless mother. That's me.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And so, we're going to talk about you a little bit, and then we're actually going to talk about the show, and then later in the evening, we're actually going to have another wonderful performance from the show. So let's talk about you for a little bit. So,
Okay.
how did you get your start in acting?
Well, I happened to be born into the Richardson family, and their baby boy, who was born January 27th, 1952, Ronald Richardson, aka Ron Richardson, Tony Award winner for his role as Jim in the Broadway musical Big River. He and I, from little kids, would watch CBS, which was one of two stations then, and we watched all the musicals. And Ron we would put plays and things together, and Ron would make dresses out of newspapers for me, and my hair out of nylon stockings. And my mother was a beautician, and she had the beauty salon, a part of our house, and we would go and perform for her customers. So that was my beginning. And I just knew that I was going to be Miss America, because we watched every Miss America, every Miss America pageant, and I just knew I was going to be Miss America. Well, then I didn't know I was. First of all, I was too short, and then let's not talk about I was too dark. But that was my beginning, and from there, every school I attended to was like a performing arts school. Even my elementary school, I did a lot of singing and plays there.
Wow.
So that was my beginning.
So you've been doing it for forever. Your brother Ron introduced you to it, and
Yes.
you've just been doing it. And so,
Yes.
as an actor, what is one of the challenges and one of the joys of being an actor?
I love theater.
Mm.
I love theater more than I do television and film, because theater, you get immediate response. And when you go and do a play, and you do 8 shows a week, every night can be different because of the audience. Because you feed with that energy from the audience. Mm. Television and film, to me, is everybody is rushing you, hurry up, and then you end up waiting. It's like, hurry up, and then you gotta wait. So and it's just so cold. It feels cold to me. Mm. And Yes. But what was the other part of your question?
What is, I guess, what is, I asked what is a challenge or what is a joy of acting? So what is one of the things you love the most about acting?
Being able to go into different characters.
Hmm.
Yeah, that to me is the greatest thing.
Now we know that acting is essentially flexing the muscle of learning a character, learning roles, learning lines, and being able to deliver them in different
Mm.
settings. You know, you've done theater, you've done movies. We also have a couple fun facts about you that I'll talk about towards the end, about some of the work you've done.
Mm.
Um, but you've also been on the other side, which is writing. So you've been on the creative side as well. So how
Mm.
did you get into writing? And was that something that you did immediately, or were you acting for a while first before you got into writing?
No, I had no intention to write. I always wanted to write. It was always in my head, but I had never really pursued it. But what made me write this was a friend of mine, and his name was Larry Riley. He was in the Soldier Story. He was the singer with the guitar in Soldier Story. And he and I, we were in uh, Polly together. Debbie Allen directed. And we were like on this set. I was passing, and he said, Vickilyn, come here, sit down. If nobody writes it for you, you write it yourself. But you
Mm.
do the role of Hattie McDaniel. And I
Wow.
looked at him and I was like, you know, first of all, people have always said, you look like Hattie McDaniel. And I didn't take that as a compliment, you
Mm.
know, because first of all, it was like all the negativity that I was hearing about her doing nothing but mammy and maid roles, and you know, all the put downs that
Mm-hmm.
was. And then my brother, practically on his deathbed, said to me, Vicky, you should do the life story of Hattie McDaniel.
Wow.
And that really, I said, now these are, Larry Riley, by the way, had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Ron said that, and he passed away, I said, you know, maybe these guys are trying to leave me something, you know.
Mm.
And so I started doing the research on Hattie McDaniel and was blown away.
Mm.
Blown away. You know, first of all, you got to put yourself in the mindset, you know, of that period
Right.
and what she could and could not do
Mm.
in that period, you know. And what she did was absolutely amazing, you know, to even be nominated for an Oscar in 1939 was like impossible, you
Right.
know. But then to go and win it, that was just exceptional, you
Right.
know. So and she was such a, she would all that she could do to help, she did.
Mm.
Like she would going with the wind. The script could have been even worse in what African Americans were called, but she tried to get the word nigger out of the script.
Mm.
Um, and any other scripts that she worked with, she tried to
Mm.
do, you know, put forth a big effort and for her people, for us.
Wow. And so when you were doing your research for her, obviously when you write, there's an editing process and there's a whole process that goes into writing a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Were there things about her life that you wanted to include but you weren't able to?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can still you could write with her life story. You could write another two other uh, plays and whatever, and not cover her life.
Mm.
She's just you know, just the fact that, you know, the love of her father and all the uh, background of her family.
Mm-hmm.
You could I couldn't get it all in there, you know.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
what's one thing that you learned about her that you may not have been able to include, but you definitely want the world to know? Like, what is one major thing about her that you think is important for people to know about her?
That she was that the negativity that I grew up learning about her is not true.
Mm,
You know, and even she had a party after NAACP, I think, meeting or something that was going on, and she gave a party, and she said, uh, jokingly, she wasn't, I mean, jokingly that Lena Horne is the new nigga in town, and what did she say that for?
mm,
And but she and Lena Horne were cool. I mean, they had tea and lunch together, and
mm-hmm,
Hattie would pull her coattail because she was not welcome in Hollywood at the time, um, by a lot of actors, black actors. And
mm.
Hattie, took her under her wing.
Wow.
You
Wow,
know.
that's a that's an amazing story.
Hmm.
In following this idea, who in addition to Hattie, who were some other major influences on your work, your writing, and your acting?
Hmm. I would say, well, of course, my brother Ron. Um, Ruby D. Uh, I'm drawing a blank, but Ruby D for sure. I really had great respect for her. And she was also, as well, a writer. She and her husband, Ozzy. But that's, I mean, I can't really, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of, it's so many people. Because, see, I started out as a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing nightclubs and, you know, everything. I was touring, just singing. And my influence really came from music. Aretha Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
Gladys Knight, um, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Nancy Wilson, Etta James, you know, on that end. But actors, I really didn't. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be an actress. And what happened was everything was just too easy for me,
Mm,
and it really began to frighten me. And because I went to my first audition was the Colored Museum,
mm,
and I got the gig. And we started in New Jersey and moved. I was with the cast in New Jersey. I was the only one to go from New Jersey to New York. Then went from New York to London, and then here in California. And the first week that we opened, uh, Columbia came to me in my dressing room and said, "Are you going back to New York with the rest of them?" And I said, "Oh, not if you get me a TV show."
mm.
And the next in that next week, I was called to come for a meeting, and they had a show for me to do, and that was Sugar and Spice.
Wow. And how long were you on that show?
Oh, it only lasts because we only did 7 episodes
Okay.
because they switched presidents. Um, they switched presidents, and you know how that goes. Corporations, when the new guy
Hmm.
comes in, he gets who he wants.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
that is definitely how that goes. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, here, where in the world literally has acting and singing taken you? So you mentioned a bunch of cities, but where have you traveled to that the acting is, give you access to?
Uh, Paris, London, Korea. I think that's all over the states.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Japan. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned how Hattie was very welcoming to Lena Horne
Hmm.
um, when she got to Hollywood. What was it like when you made the move out to California? How was Hollywood similar? How was it different when you got out there to do your work?
Well, it was super clean. Number one, and number two, the weather. The
Mm.
weather got me. I mean, after Sugar and Spice closed, I wasn't going anywhere, and I couldn't because my husband he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah.
It's oh, okay. And so, what was the environment like for a black actor when you got there, and even in the work that you were doing?
It's not much different than it is now. It's
Mm,
very hard. It's getting better. It's getting much better. It has gotten better, but it's still hard. You know, one reason that I am vested in this show is because I didn't want to. Some of the scripts I was getting was like, "Ah, I don't want to do that,
mm,
you know. And then after Ronald died, something just happened to me. I wasn't even able to audition anymore. I would go into an audition and I always use my bathroom mirror to rehearse. I was fine at home. But as soon as I got into an audition, I would uh, crack up laughing, uh, do something that is just, you don't do, it's like 101 in acting. You just don't do
mm-hmm.
that. And so I stopped auditioning because I said, this is just terrible. I have no control.
Mm.
So yeah, that's that.
So, what did you do to, I guess, overcome it and to try to get through that period or through that
I'm,
type
I'm
of?
not through. I'm not through it now.
Okay.
I'm not through it now. And I don't know. I sometimes I think it's like it's not a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be committed to what I'm doing because I want the story of Hattie McDaniel. Now that's one movie that I would love to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I really would like to see this play go to Broadway, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Um, and I'm committed now. I mean, I'm at the age that this is probably will be my last hurrah.
Mm-hmm.
My last really great character to portray. So I'm all in for Hattie.
And I guess this is kind of along the lines. What are some of the obstacles that you're facing for getting it onto Broadway, or what needs to happen for you to be able to get it to where you really want it to go?
Money.
I think that's the realest thing that you
That's
could
real.
say.
Let's keep it real.
Keep it real. That is, it's interesting. That is one of the most common things whenever I ask someone what's the biggest obstacle to get your next project, it's Money.
Well, exactly. That's
And
what it
and
is. That's what it is. And not only that, I just had to get that right person that has uh the whole thing to do it for Hattie.
mm,
That's what somebody that is really, just her want to see her. I mean, see a movie done or a play
mhm,
done of Hattie McDaniel. I
right.
mean, all of you did The Help and all the new black movies that are out. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. That's another subject. I do understand why. Hattie, dark skin, heavy set. That's not a formula for Hollywood, And I think that's another reason that I I picked up the baton for her, because I know the plight of being a heavy, dark-skinned woman in show business. Mm. Not in show business, because singing, I can sing forever. Mm-hmm. But, that's why I was surprised that I got a lead in a TV series. Whether it was seven episodes or one, it happened. And, I'm so grateful for that.
Definitely. And I think what you're talking about and explaining is a buzzword that's kind of going around these days called representation. Mm-hmm. And you're definitely talking about representation and the importance of it, and mm-hmm. being a representative for people in a especially Black women actors, mm-hmm. Who are part of a demographic that's not always well represented. Mm-hmm. And so, one, thank you for even doing that and taking up the mantle, taking up the baton to do that. And honestly, everyone who heard her sing at the beginning, and if you're just joining, she's definitely holding that baton and running the race and doing an amazing job with it. So let's talk about the actual play, Hattie McDaniel, What I Need You to Know, because today we're just doing a couple snippets, but I want folks to know exactly what is the storyline, what is it that when folks log on to watch it, what are we seeing, and what is the story that's being told?
Well, it's starting with her as a child, all the way through her death and coming into Hollywood. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know Hattie McDaniel did not. First of all, she was from Denver, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks that she's from the South. No, uh-huh. She's from Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
And when she got to Hollywood had a dialect for mm-hmm. African American actors. Mm-hmm. I have a song called Dis, Dat, Dees, Dem, and Days. And it is telling how Hattie had to learn to get that dialogue. She didn't go there with that. So a lot of times when you talk about her playing Mammy and May roles, you never heard her speak Southern. But she did do that dis, dem, dee, dat, and day sometimes. But that wasn't her, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. And so you start out with her childhood and you go through there. Where else does the story take us? And
takes you to her where the death. First of all, she was married four times, and in the story it tells about three of her marriages. One of them, the husband died, and that was her greatest love. Then she got one that was just to use her, mm-hmm. Use her fame and her money. And the other one, they became friends, but they got a divorce.
Oh wow!
But they were still friends, even though he left the same state she was in. And then it goes on through that to her singing in a club in. I can't believe I can't remember this. In Massachusetts, where was it? Begins with an M. Anyway, she sang at a club, and it was of course it was a white club, and she went in for the job, and she became the bathroom attendant. Mm. And then one night, the singer, the headliner, left the stage drunk, and they called on Hattie because Hattie was in the bathroom throwing down, just
Mhm.
singing her tail off, and she had her own audience in the bathroom.
Wow.
And the night that woman, the night the woman got drunk and got off stage, they called Hattie in,
Mm.
and she became the headliner. And
Wow.
she left from. That's when she left from there, and to Hollywood.
Wow, amazing. I mean, they say a lot of times a famous saying is, you know, having the right opportunity, or rather, there's a famous saying. It's escaping my mind right now, but it's
Mhm.
simply being ready for an opportunity. Like luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I think that's what the
Absolutely.
phrase is. And
Yes.
so, for instance, while it's not the best circumstance for someone else to be drunk and be
Mhm.
unable to perform, but
Yes.
that was definitely an opportunity for which she was prepared. and
Yes.
and and maybe that was a turning point for her in her career. Maybe that was a turning point for you know
Mhm.
what we know today, and now she ended up in Hollywood. So it's amazing to know that that type of experience that she had that allowed her to level up and get to the next point, and get to
Mhm.
perform more. And so that's in a way a very beautiful story to know that, and an inspiring aspect to say, she was prepared
Yes.
for when the moment
Absolutely.
arrived,
Yes.
even though it was
Mhm.
what you described was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
And so, um, what advice as a seasoned actor and a seasoned writer,
Mhm.
um, would you have for someone who's young and up and coming that wants to do what it is you do?
This is a rough business.
Mm,
This is a terribly rough business, and I think uh, a lot of has come out, like with the Harry Weinstein's, and the things that you know you go through in this business. And one thing about it, it doesn't last long. You got to get in and get it, and because you're gonna be kicked out.
right.
No, it does not last.
Mm,
Um, so I'm cautioning that first,
mm-hmm,
and I suggest that you always have some kind of something to fall back on, even though not saying that you don't go in and say I'm not going to get anything to fall back on because I'm positive and I'm going forward. Yeah, that's fine,
mm-hmm,
but keeping it real, make sure you have some kind of something that you can make some money on the side,
mm-hmm.
because in show business, jobs are far and in between, you know. And but if you insistent upon it, then things that you have to do, especially if you want to come to Hollywood, um, getting an agent is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a and that's what you need. You need an agent. Like I said to you, I don't even know too much more to say, because, like I said, things were easy for me in the beginning. It went from one thing to another. Somebody saw my performance and wanted me for certain things. I did I got movies, a lot of things that I didn't even have to audition for,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But that wasn't the problem in the beginning. I was fine. I didn't have this, whatever it is, until after Ron died. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's because whatever whatever was in my psyche, it all came to a head when my brother died.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if you really want to do this, you need faith, and you need somebody that is going to lift you up when you fall down. because it's a lot of times, rejection is terrible. And that's what this job is filled with, rejection. You know,
Yeah,
what can I say?
I've definitely heard that from a
Mm-hmm.
lot of actors and
Mm-hmm.
performers and singers. And so
Mm-hmm.
how do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with the emotional, mental, and all that kind of thing? How do you deal with it?
Well, for me, I just don't care. I mean, I just don't care um, when somebody said when I'm rejected, because I know who I am.
Mm,
I know who I am. I know whose I am. And my faith is strong, and I don't allow that to get me down. So I hope I'm not sounding too negative, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm being real.
I think the
It's
truth is the best thing. So you're fine. You are fine.
I'm not going to tell you it's peaches and cream and because it's not all the time.
Mm,
Some people are just that's their destiny, and you know, you know, um, it's nothing you can do about that.
mm-hmm,
You know, but they're far and few in between.
mm,
If you think about, I was watching a new streaming service called Peacock, and they have all the different older shows on. And I would sit there and I said, Tag, where is she now? What happened to him? You know? And they were on the A list, and so, all I have to say is be sure this is what you want.
mm.
Be sure that this is what you want. Because if it's really not you, or if you just say, because I hear people all the time say, oh, now I want to become an actress. So what do I do? It's no one thing.
Mm.
And just because you want to, first of all, you got to be sure, do you have the talent? That's
That
is
part's
your
important.
that's right. But do you have the talent? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and is your talent is strong enough to hold you up?
Mm.
You know, because if not, that's when you get into other games and craziness.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because the reality is, even when you have the talent,
Mm-hmm.
it can still be very, very rough because
Oh yeah.
different casting directors are looking for different things, and
Mm-hmm.
you might be almost right for a role, or you might be just right, and then there might be the politics,
Mm-hmm.
and then even when you get chosen for it, there's the negotiations and all the business side of things as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely all of that. And so I think what you're saying is it's not on a negative side, it's on a real side.
Mm-hmm.
It's the side that I think is important for people who are up and coming to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Um just
To know what they're in for,
right.
you
Absolutely.
know, you
Absolutely.
know.
um there was a podcast I was listening to recently where there's
Mm-hmm.
an actor who is on a very famous show.
Mm-hmm.
um and he was saying that he expects 99% of his auditions to be a no.
Mm-hmm.
um and that's a wild number to think about. And I mean, he's probably
Really.
going on an exorbitant amount of auditions, but he said now that he's gotten some notoriety,
Mm-hmm.
people call him more so than he actually has to go for an audition. But when he was really working, he was like, I mean, really going for it. He said you
Mm-hmm.
had to just get used to hearing no and be okay with that and realize that it wasn't a reflection on you, but more of
Mm-hmm.
a reflection on what it was that someone was looking for.
Right. Exactly. And that it really upsets you when you know that you hit every mark
Mm-hmm.
when you go into an audition, and you hit every
He
mark.
was really working. He was like, I mean, really going for it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And and and
absolutely.
and then you go and look at the show and see who they chose, and you say, huh?
Right.
you know,
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. um so yeah, it happens that way. So,
But I really feel like I am, this is my destiny. One of
mhm,
my destinies. I
mhm,
really, I mean, it's not a coincidence that I was born looking like Hattie McDaniel.
mm,
It was not a coincidence that Larry Riley says to me, "You have to do Hattie McDaniel."
mhm,
And before my brother died, he says the same thing.
mm.
You know, I don't think that's an accident.
Right, right. And so I
And
think
he's and then to take away my ability to be able to audition.
that
Let's not forget that.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean that is destiny. If there's anything else, there's nothing else to call it. So you're definitely living in your purpose, and to bring, not only just to bring Hattie McDaniel's story to light, but to also
Mhm,
again bring that inspiration and bring the story that impacts people in so many different ways.
mhm.
And earlier today, or tonight rather, we talked a little bit about parallels that informed the first song you performed. I know that there's another song that we're going to do. So just for those out there listening, we're going to have Miss Reynolds do another performance in a few moments. But if you have any questions that you would like me to ask her or comments, please be sure to write that in the comment section of the video. I can of the video on Facebook. I can relay those to her. But I'm going to continue in this space. You mentioned that there was another parallel that you had that informed another song that's in the show, and so can you talk about that, and then I guess we'll get into the next um, monologue and song.
Oh, the finale.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. This is where she, I mean, where she get the title of the song is "Don't Give Me No Credit,"
Mm-hmm.
um, and it really puts everything, capturates everything, um, how she feels and what she want. Really, what she want. This is what she wants you to know through this song. Would you like me to go right into
Yes,
it?
please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
I've had a lot of time to reflect on my life, and I have no regrets. I was proud to portray women who were fierce, who cringed before no one, who never talked in whisper, who never walked on tiptoe, who criticized white women's morals and who showed real emotion, like my own grandmother. I was a child of the times, a child of slaves. I had to work within my own limitations. So remember me when you honor your legends. Remember me when you, in your history books. Don't be ashamed when you hear my name called, because I did my best and God did the rest. I don't feel no great personal pride for my contribution to the world of art. My course was charted a long time ago. No, don't give me any credit, 'cause I did my best and God did the rest. I hope my winning inspires the youth of every race to work very hard. Lord knows I try to lead the way, but don't give me any credit, 'cause I did my best and God did the rest. I had to hold my head high and look to the sky and ask God to bring me through. So much hurt to my pride, I kept deep inside just to make it through. But don't give me any credit, 'cause I did my best and God did the rest. No, don't give me, no, don't give me, 'cause I did my best and God did the rest. No, don't give me, 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 don't give me. No, no, don't you give me no credit. Don't give me no credit. Don't give me no credit. 'Cause I did my best. No, don't give me no credit. Don't give me no credit. Don't give me no credit, 'cause I did my best and I did my best and God did
Wow. And I honestly feel like that sentiment is definitely shared with a lot of people in the audience. We have a lot of comments, a lot of amens, phenomenal chill bumps. Your nephew Will is really proud of you in the comment section.
Oh, I didn't know.
So he's watching.
Thank you, baby.
VJ McDonald said, I saw you in the Color Museum and you were amazing.
Thank you.
Someone else says it's from Philly. And so they're saying hello to you. The Gwendolyn Early Wright from Philadelphia says
yes,
hello to
that's
you.
my family.
Gwen and Sandra from Philly, that's your family.
Yes, my
And so Sharon Thompson says you can't escape your destiny. Joyce McMicken says she's a gem. She's talking about you. So you have in our comment section, there's a lot of great people saying, Rosalind B. Harris says her Denver family is proud as well.
Oh, that's my sister too.
Yes. So there's a lot of folks that are giving you flowers in our comment section.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Lillian Reynolds says you have got to share this one with the world on a live stage. And so there's definitely a desire to hear your voice, Vickilyn Reynolds' voice, as well as the voice and the story of Hattie McDaniel. And so thank you again for bringing this to us and for sharing with us. This is very special because it's not only an interview, but we were treated to 2 live performances. And I will take a point of personal privilege to say I can tell that you are definitely gifted and destined for this role and destined for everything that you are doing, because of what we just saw displayed here. You're just sitting here with your iPad on a Zoom call, and you are blessing all that are hearing you and hearing your voice. And thank you for even sharing and being here this evening for that. I want to also mention that uh, Hattie, what I need you to know is on American Legacy Network. There's a
Mhm.
performance of it on there. I encourage all who are watching right now to open up another tab on your computer or on your phone to visit AmericanLegacyNetwork.tv to become a subscriber. It is just $3.99 a month, and you get to see this performance along with many, many other Black historical performances as well as original programming that are on American Legacy Network. And so,
Could I say one thing?
yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to plug my website,
Yes,
HattieMcDanielMusical.com.
yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
And how else can folks reach you and get in touch with your work?
They can reach me through my website.
Okay,
I have a contact page that they can reach me through my website.
okay. Are you on social media?
I am
Okay,
Facebook. I have Vickilyn Reynolds and V Richardson Reynolds.
okay, awesome. So y'all heard that, folks. On Facebook, connect with her, Vickilyn Reynolds and V Richardson Reynolds.
Yes, V
All right,
Richardson Reynolds. Yes,
V
that's the
Richardson
one that
Reynolds.
I have some a little more room for. Uh, I think the other account is I can't have any more friends on that account.
Oh, you've reached the limit of friends, huh?
Yeah.
That's all right. We're not mad about that one. We're not mad about that one. But even though you cannot become friends with her, but I still encourage everyone to follow her, because
Please.
even when you reach the limit of friends on Facebook, you can
Mhm.
actually still follow someone. And
Oh,
so
good.
so definitely give her a follow so you can stay in touch with her and stay well aware of her work. As you can see, again, we're just sitting here on a computer and an iPad, and this is what you see. So imagine what you get to see when you get to see what she's a more produced work, and everything that you're going to be able to experience. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience, like what's next, what's up and coming for you, or what are you up to right now?
Uh, I'm in negotiations. Um, so we'll see.
We'll see.
That's all I can say right now.
Ooh, I like it. That's mysterious. We shall see. We shall
We
see.
shall see.
All right.
But
Well,
I'm open. I'm open to any suggestions or anybody that's interested in helping. Please get in contact with me through my website.
awesome. And again, can you say your website for us one more time, just so everyone, for good measure?
HattieMcDanielMusical.com.
HattieMcDanielMusical.com. You heard
Mm-hmm.
it, folks. Please visit her website, and support this wonderful, wonderful artist and gem, who we have with us today. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining American Legacy Network for this special evening event. And again, everyone subscribe to American Legacy Network and visit
Please.
her website and support her. Thank you, everyone. And that is our show for this evening.
Thank you, Josh.
No problem.